In the heart of the Thistle Nebula, where every action is a matter of survival, lurks new uncovered entities. Join us as we delve into moons of this fascinating world with the help of Alter Ego, a renowned biologist whose passion for the specific fauna has inspired countless researchers. Together, we will guide players traverse these lands with knowledge of the creature that inhabit them. This is the entire Bestiary of Lethal Company.
Figures danger level 0%. Scientific name Anacrydium vega. Known as roaming locust, this is a species of grasshopper. Unlike some species, which are more prone to jump or fly, roaming locusts are almost never grounded and stick close together even when in small numbers. They will quickly disperse when a predator disturbs them, but are highly attracted to light.
Roaming locusts are commonly found outside moving as a group while maintaining a spherical formation. Posing no threat to the player, these small insect purpose is only to make moons more lively with ambience, due to the fact that they are at the bottom of the food chain. If an entity is close to the group, they will fly away, breaking the formation.
Figure danger level 0%. Scientific name Quadrupe menta. Manticoil are a passerine bird of the family Corvidae. Their body are quite large compared to their early descendants, and their wingspan range from 55 to 64 inches. Their most defining characteristic is their set of 4 wings. Their back wings are mostly used to stabilize when at low speed, while their front 2 wings create a majority of lift. Their round bodies are a striking yellow but with black outline or strip along their primary rear feathers. Manticoil mostly fed on small insects but can also feed on small rodents. They are highly intelligent and social. They pose little threat and have generally passive temperament towards humans, although they are capable of transmitting rabies, urbanchloria, and pit virus.
Manticoils are the last armless creature we will discuss in this bestiary. Having a bird-like appearance, this species is flying into the sky as a group with their set of 4 wings. They will fly away if a player approaches them or when they hear a loud noise. Some veterans even use this creature to distract stronger entities that we will talk about further in the documentary. Also, let's explore, learn and protect our beautiful video game world together by subscribing and liking this video. This support helps our research to bring you closer to the wonders of nature and science, giving you more content along the way. Thank you.
Figure danger level 1%. Scientific name Draco tulipa. Tulip snakes or tulip lizard are the type of flying lizard which are easily distinguished by their long arm and wings, which can reach twice the size of other members of the genus Draco, and sport unusually bright color and patterns. Their names come from the flaps under their neck and behind their head, which resemble large flower petals. Their other unusual characteristics include an extra pair of eyes and a deeply forked tail. Their behavior is stubborn and fearless to a fault. Indeed, Tulip Snake will rarely flee a predator. But, ironically, many biologists theorize that their flowery appearance aids them more as a camouflage than an intimidation display. It also takes important part in their elaborate courtship ritual, which are more similar to that of birds. Uniquely, lifting heavy and large objects into the air has often been observed as part of the tulip snake mating display. They are capable of carrying rocks and plants at least twice their size, in an effort to impress their potential mate. Protective, jealous, and in frenzy, the male may end up in a tug-of-war fight over objects they take a liking to, which can even include other living creatures.
Tulip snakes are similar to Manticoil, flying from one place to another. The only difference is when they spot a player. Those creatures will try to attach themselves to it without any hesitation. Since they travel in pack, we can see up to 5 tulip snakes on a player. They don't cause any threat to them, but will only add 3 weight, and will start to fly for 10 seconds before stopping. We recommend watching out to where these little things are dropping players due to the massive fall damage, but if controlled correctly, they can become your own living jetpack. If tulip snakes start to be annoying to players, waving a shovel, stop sign or yell sign will do the job, or waiting for them to be tired of being lashed to an entity.
Figure danger level 90%. Scientific name Crabrocoruscus. The Certubi, also known as red bee, is a eusocial flying insect of the genus Apis, a descendant of the honeybee. Their appearance is quite recognizable for their airy red bodies and 2 sets of wings, Like their ancestors, they are well known for their intelligent social behavior, large colony size, building wax nests, which they use to store honey, and their important role in pollination. Unlike the honeybee, which often choose high place such as street to construct its hive, red bees create their hive on the ground. Red bees are highly defensive. They will leave the nest to attack any creature that come within several meters, leaving behind only the queen and the drone bees. This bold behavior is enabled by their most defining abilities, which is their electrostatic charge. Red bees produce friction with the air. They also produce friction by rubbing their two pairs of wings against each other and by rubbing against one another while in the hive. What allows them to create such a surplus of electric field compared to the honeybee is still under research, as they generate a stronger electric field when panicked or angered. This ability is especially useful for them around water. It's best to keep your distance. If a red bee hive is stolen, red bee swarm will enter an onslaught in which they attack any living creature. This destructive behavior will last until they have located the hive or completely exhaust themselves, which can take hours to days. They have been known to leave behind field of body of small rodent, insects, and even some larger mammals, and in rare case, they can start fires. Their strong benefit and drawbacks to their ecosystem are highly debated. The indomitable figure.
Defending their nest from any predator, circuit bees will shock any player that will endanger it. Due to a good amount of money this beehive produce, players always try to steal this high risk reward. Getting close to it will make circuit bees run after them until being too far from their home. We advise taking this nature treasure at the end of the expedition, since if taken early to the ship, circus bee will search for the nest and attack everything that comes near their path.
Figure danger level 75%. Scientific name Papiovolturius. Baboon Hawk are a primate of the family Cercopicidae. They are hunchbacked but can stand up to 8 feet on average. Their heads are bony with bird-like beaks and long horns, which they use like skewer to gore and feed on prey. Their horns are made of keratin instead of bone like the rest of their skulls, and they do not contain nerves or blood vessels. As a result, Baboon Hawk can often break their horns from the force they apply, then fully regrow them within the same season. Baboon Hawks partly owe their name to their large wings, which could never carry their large body mass, and are used instead for intimidation and protection from the elements. The largest Baboon Hawks troop ever observed was made up of 18 Baboon Hawks. They are loosely territorial, and much of their behavior is motivated by intimidation and display. They can become collector, using any flashy or colorful object to mark their territory. As Lounge Scout, Baboon Hawks are generally timid and won't attack unless provoked. In greater numbers, they can become great danger. Sticking close to others and making yourself seem dangerous is the best way to prevent an attack. They prefer smaller mammals, but when desperate, they are known to use their numbers to attack animals even twice their size, such as eyeless dogs.
Baboon Hawks are creatures found outdoors, always staying at least in packs of 2, protecting their nest that resemble a bunch of wood mixed together. The group will always have one leader and will scout the area with this one to locate any scraps they can retrieve to their nest. But watch out, they are sensitive to sound and will only attack players if they are too close to them. To avoid having this kind of situation, we recommend never dropping scrap outside and bringing a noisy item like the air dryer, air horn, and much more. Baboon Hawks are scared of only noisy items. Yelling at them won't fix the problem.
Figure danger level, this isn't a creature. Scientific name, Phlebodium rubber. Vein shrouds, also commonly referred to as vein, are a type of rhizomatous fern of the family Polypicidae. In ideal condition, vein shroud fronds can reach a height of 8 feet, though they average 6 feet 11 inches and are 30 to 50 centimeters wide. Their roots are unusually large and they are somewhat prickly. With their aggressive reproduction and remarkable size, they can take up a lot of space, making visibility difficult, and are difficult to remove. They crowd out healthy plants and offer little neutral value. They are also highly flammable. A strongly correlated mutualistic relationship has been observed between vein shroud and the Kidnapper Fox. And for this reason, veins are in danger when they are allowed to expand to great numbers. Due to this and their other harmful effects on many ecosystems and agriculture, veins have been classified as noxious weed by the ITDA since 2147. Their planet of origin is unknown and they were first recorded by plant researcher Alex Kurt in Korat 7b in 2143, before being found on the other side of its same interplanetary system just weeks later. A common myth is that the vein were first spread across planets due to their mild hallucinogenic properties when ingested. But their history is shrouded in mystery. Wake Up, the company lays the dropout with the seed. They upsell us for weed killer cause they know we ate this cherry red menace.
These red plants are the only non-creature to make their way into this bestiary. Growing each day and taking a lot of territory, they serve to help another species that need them to survive in our nature. Vein Shroud aren't a threat to the player and can be easily destroyed with Weed Killer. It's what living inside of it that makes them dangerous.
Figure danger level 80%. Scientific name Vulpes raptor. Large mammal of the family Canidae, the Kidnapper Fox has many unique biological traits. Two of these are its horizontal jaw and unique skull shape giving its great biting strength, and its long, frog-like tongue which can reach even twice the length of its spindling body. They are solitary hunter and mate for life. Kidnapper Fox are very long bushy neck and tail with a more reddish coloration, which is though to blend in well with the numerous Vein Shroud, where it can almost always be found hiding and waiting for prey. The Kidnapper Fox and the Vein Shroud together form one of the most infamously known and unique mutualistic relationships between two invasive species. Together, they continue to spread across planetary systems, stowing away on large spacecraft, excluding a selected few nature preserves. The ETDA has issued a kill-on-sight order for the Kidnapper Fox and Vein Shrouds, due to their impact on ecosystems. The Kidnapper Fox earned its name for its aggressive yet timid territorial behavior, preferring to finish off prey out of sight and usually in the comfort of the Vein Shrouds. It usually chooses to lie low and wait for things to come its way, but if it grows restless, it can use its long, sticky tongue to snatch its prey from great distance and drag them as far as it needs. If there are Vein Shroud in your area, carry a weapon and do not stray far from others. Its tongue is quite soft and fragile and can be struck easily, forcing it to stop an assault. Today there are relatively few human deaths attributed to Kidnapper Fox per year, and most victims are unsupervised children or adults hiking alone.
This lone fox lives in the biggest patch of Vein Shroud on the moon, to hide and hunt players down. If its prey step too close to its nest, this creature will sneak behind them and try sticking himself with his tongue. Now that the fox locked his tongue to his dinner, players will drop everything on the ground and will be playing tug of war with him. Sadly, this one right here didn't make it. However, it's been a hot minute that we didn't locate any Kidnapper Fox in the area, maybe pointing to an endangered species. But maybe the Vein Shroud will save this fox from demise.
Figure danger level 2%. Scientific name Hemiptela gigantis. The reverently named Earth Leviathan of the family Piscicolidae is one of the largest invertebrates found around the Thistle Nebula. None have been captured, so not much is known of their biology. They seem to be a vast predator. It's speculated they can burrow as far as 40 meters underground. Judging by their incredible excavation they can leave behind. They can detect even the slightest vibration, and for this reason, it's not recommended to stay still if they are nearby. That is a myth. Instead, if you hear them burrowing, retrace your steps.
This colossal worm locates its prey by hiding underground. When the ground rumbles, we advise players to run as fast as they can to escape this giant mouth. The Earth Leviathan will emerge from the ground and eat whatever was in its way. This creature is the largest of the bestiary and unable to be killed by the player. We can also say that they are easy to dodge and spot on the cameras with a giant red circle. This leech even kills large entities, so we are letting this strategy to players' advantage.
Old Bird. The Old Bird is an autonomous offensive weapon of war with a humanoid design. Measured at 19 feet tall and 11 feet wide, its two most defining visual features are the spotlight positioned on its head, capable of emitting 100,000 lumens, and the long-range acoustic device on its chest, sometimes referred to as a sound cannon. There are additional speakers on its shoulders used to broadcast sound a long distance. The old bird's left arm is a claw and its right arm is a nozzle capable of both launching rocket-propelled grenades and torching at close range with a very hot flame. Old birds are one of the first extraorbital weapons to be used and mass-produced. The subject of who developed the old birds has been an intense debate since their first recorded appearance on December 18th of 2143 when over 50 old birds invaded the England capital. This is considered one of the first major causes for the downfall of the England Empire. The most commonly upheld theory takes into account the tension between the England and Beaumont military throughout the 2100s, however, nothing has been proven in the centuries since. The design of the old bird, down to the tempering of metals, appears intended to conceal its origin. It has been called the walking ransom letter. Old birds' legs function as rockets, which allow them to travel long distances and find targets efficiently. But the most likely reason this feature exists is to help them enter and land from orbit. The material and fuel old birds rely on is similar to those of passenger spacecraft from around 2130. Old birds land and stay at their target planet forever. Although they often have more than enough fuel for just one trip, no behavior has been found in their programming which suggests they could choose to migrate. Still, there are unverified accounts of old birds traveling autonomously to a new planet after hundreds of years of dormancy. The old bird was historically referred to as the A1 based off the code name it was given by the English military, the A16L31. In 2384, however, the song Old Bird's released as a cult hit by the post-punk project Under Remora. Just 3 years later, in his most famous work of the same name, street artist Lan Erie depicted the automatons flying and landing between planets in an arrangement similar to a flock of geese. This is generally considered one of the most iconic and influential images of modern culture and solidified the modern nickname. In 2356, 5 Embryon was classified as condemned for the purposes of travel or settlement by the boats. Old birds were described by witness accounts as lining the horizon. Though to this day they appear inoperative, there is a reasonable risk that many are still in sleep mode, so the planet will likely keep its status. The small moon was likely used as a testing ground for the old bird's flying and landing capabilities.
Old birds are interesting creatures from this bestiary since some might never get up and stay in dormant states, making them inactive and becoming a landscape to look at. We think it's better this way because when activated, this creature is not to be messed with. Old birds will fly into the sky, roaming the lands to find a new location. If the spotlight targets players, the mech will activate its chasing mode using its jet to come near their target, and they will use missiles, stomp them, grab them, and squish them to death. This weapon of death is terrifying and destabilizes its prey by using human agony sounds. We recommend spotting every old bird before starting the day to escape this hell with a plan. We would only remove the apparatus after 3 PM since this will activate the old bird early. Players can take advantage of Manticoils to distract the old bird from their sight or use Earth Leviathan to eat them entirely. We wish you the best.
Now that we saw every daytime creature, some are nocturnal, and players will be at a disadvantage with low visibility, so don't try to stay up too late.
Scientific name, Leocacus. A large mammal of the class Caeptivus. They are social, hunting in very large packs. They have also been called breeding lions, for their recognizable sound and large mouths. They are endurance hunter and attempt to make up for the lack of sight with their sense of hearing. It's a popular myth that they often mistake the sounds of their own kind for prey, entering fights within their own packs. Their behavior is unique from other pack animals in their tendency to spread out far to cover distance. When an eyeless dog has found prey, it roars to alert others in the near vicinity, who will also sound the alarm, sometimes resulting in a kind of chain reaction. Eyeless dogs can be dangerous in swarm. However, they are characteristically clumsy, taking guesses at their prey's exact location, which are often incorrect.
Eyeless dogs are waiting for any sound that can be launched for them. When players mess up, the dogs howl to alert the other members and chase the sound. They will launch themselves if the sound is nearby to have a chance to get the prize. We recommend players to stop making any noise when hearing a loud breathing. Talking, flashlight, air horns, robot toys, and many more are a ticket to heaven. During the day, the best way will be to start a boombox far away from the ship so the dogs get attracted to it. Some veteran even takes the weather to their advantage. When a thunderstorm occurs, players can drop metallic objects that attract them and kill them by lightning strike. Or they can just sacrifice a friend so they can live a little longer.
Figures danger level 50%. Scientific name, Soterid proceritas. Believed to share a common ancestor with Rapax folium. These behemoths are called forest keepers for the biome they often inhabit. Their bodies bear marking on their front and back which mimic eyes. This trait is more helpful in their youth, as they are not agile. Their skin is a unique, dense material which hardens further throughout their lives. The large spikes and bumps across their bodies form as a result of aging. It's been said forest keepers exhibit a curious behavior similar to that of a human child, the age of 5 or 6. They will eat anything they find fascinating. Forest keepers don't actually need to put anything into their mouths, and exteriorize their main source of energy is a process similar to photosynthesis. Still, this makes them relatively dangerous to observe. They can see across long distance, so staying low and making use of cover is a must. They cannot enter small spaces and are not generally destructive, so stay close to shelters or overhangs.
Being the opposite of our favorite blind dogs, forest keepers are not really good at hearing, and only focus on their exceptional vision. When spotting some entities, we wish them good luck to get out of this alive. They have the same speed as player, but because of their height, running isn't the solution. The best bet of survival is to hide behind rocks and trees or getting teleported by another player from the ship. To kill this tree monster, we will use a stun grenade or a radar booster to stun him, and after a counter-attack by using a shovel or a knife. Watch out, since after that, forest keepers can still crush players when falling to the ground, making this creature dangerous even after his last breath. To fill their quotas, players will need to enter each building to collect a large portion of scrap from these moons. As they delve deeper, they will encounter the true horror of this nature.
Figure danger level 5%. Scientific name Larceta glomorium. Colloquially named puffers or spore lizard, Larceta glomorum of the family Alligatoridae is one of the largest and heaviest reptiles. Despite their large mouths, they are herbivore and do not have a strong bite. The bulbs on their tails are believed to secrete a chemical which attracts and accelerates the growth of the fungus species Lycoperdon perlatum, which it can then shake to release spore as a defense mechanism. A unique example of mutualistic symbiotic relationship. Spore lizards have a very timid temperament, avoiding confrontation if at all possible. If their attempts at threat display are not effective, they may attempt to attack. It is therefore not recommended to corner or chase one. There are historical records that spore lizards were at least partially domesticated hundreds of years ago. However, this effort was set aside by an initiative to harvest their tails for their medicinal properties.
Being the least dangerous creature of the interior, spore lizards are no threat to the players. Don't get too close though. These reptiles will release a pink fume from their tail to defend themselves from any predator. We would carefully just let them roam into the shadows without really messing with them. They cannot be killed, and we don't know why players will want to do this. They are only there to destabilize you.
Figure danger level 0%. Scientific name Hygrodere. A eukaryotic organism classified within the paraphyletic group Prostita. With the incredible speed of reproduction, these small organisms can multiply to millions. Hygrodere rarely split apart, instead choosing to form large, vicious mass which can take up large amounts of space and become a danger to deal with, requiring large tools or lures to relocate. Hygrodere are drawn to heat and oxygen and can detect it from seemingly anywhere. There is almost nothing organic they can't convert to their own body mass. Nothing has been found to poison them. Constantly replacing themselves, they can persist for hundreds of thousands of years. If you ever find yourself cornered, find a tall object to stand on top of. Hygroderes have trouble climbing. They have great taste, cause I made a friend with one somehow, and we think it was my music.
Hygrodere are able to tell where players are from anywhere within the walls of the interior, slowly crawling to them. These blobs can appear as a threat, but can easily be dodged by sprint jumping over them. If players are tired of getting followed by this creep, biologists lure them by using a boombox. They will speed up to take control of the radio by dancing on top of it. If players get killed by a Hygrodere, they will get drained inside the slime, and the only memory you will have of your friends is their suit.
Figure danger level 0%. Scientific name Linopitema crasis. Hoarding bugs of the order of Hymenoptera are large social insects. While often found living alone, they have been found to share their nests with members of their own species. They measure a height of 3 feet on average with bulbous bodies. Their thinness of the fluids and blood and the material of the carapace contribute to their low weight, making them capable of flight with their membranous wings. It also makes their bodies somewhat transparent. Hoarding bugs were given their name due to their territorial nature. Once they have chosen a place as their nest, they will seek to adorn it with any object they can find and will protect these objects as part of the nest. Hoarding bugs are not so dangerous alone as they are in large hives. However, if left alone, hoarding bugs are surprisingly neutral and pose little danger. We love the stupid cuddle bugs. This has been a note from the fundamental figure.
Hoarding bugs are territorial insects found in groups looting everything they can find. They can be up to 8 and make themselves a nest in an area of the interior, roaming around looking for scraps that players can drop during their expedition or lucky finding on the ground. We can currently see that they found themselves a shiny treasure on their own. At this point, they will enter in a guarding phase, staying still, guarding the treasure that one might steal. Players can get greedy and sometimes want more money during their job, so their best idea is to steal from them. When hoarding bugs see an entity touching their bounty, they will begin to fly and attack it until death. As such, the best approach is to steal the desired item and leave the interior for the day or kill these insects for good with a shovel. For us, it's hard to resist to this little loot bug that just wants his treasure of his own.
Figure danger level 30%. Scientific name Dolus scolopendra, a very large arthropod of the class Chilopoda. Its body produces a silk which is primarily used to propel itself to place where it's concealed. Its exoskeleton is somewhat fragile, and they can die from long falls. The Snare Flea does not produce venom, nor does it have a strong bite. It makes up for this weakness with its ability to tighten itself around a large prey to suffocate. The Snare Flea thrives in dark, warm areas. It cannot survive low temperature and generally avoid open air, and sunlight takes the rat outside. Or just beat the hell out of them. I think their inside could make a good milkshake.
Using their silk to attach themselves to the ceiling, snare fleas are large centipedes that wait patiently for their prey to walk close to them. There's one ready to feast on this poor player that didn't look above. It will wrap itself on the prey's head and suffocate it to death. That's why we always warn people to enter the interior with a weapon, so they can hit this parasite for good. When no weapon is at their disposal, shaking won't help them. We recommend taking a deep breath and trying to remember where the main entrance or the fire exit are located. Lastly, if none of these options work for them, the best option will be to sacrifice themselves to let other players work without having to stress about this parasite. Oh! They can also ask for being teleported out of the interior to kill instantly the snare flea. But that's if they are able to ask without muffling too much.
Figure danger level 30%. Scientific name Pterophosa ficedula. Bunker spiders of the genus Pterophosa are the largest arachnid found in the Thistle Nebula and the second largest ever discovered. It's believed they evolved to prey on large mammals over the course of a measly several hundred years after the boat made its trip around the Thistle Nebula. Bunker spiders produce silk and lay it around their chosen nesting area, then wait for it to be tripped on. They can be seen waiting on walls, often over doorways, where prey could enter unaware. If you find a bunker spider unprepared, it may freeze as a defensive reaction. In this case, they are best left alone. If a bunker spider reacts aggressively, it is best not to fight it with ordinary tools. They use their webs to make up for their rather slow movement, so take note of your surroundings. Their webs can be broken easily with any blunt tool. Bunker spiders can pose a great danger to humans or urban explorers especially, without a great benefit to their ecosystems. A resulting kill-on-sight order has been informally agreed upon between many states home to the bunker spider, and it is currently approved by the ITDA as of October 6, 1965.
Around these gigantic monsters are a lot of webs. Unlucky enough for our player here, it got itself trapped into one. At this exact moment, it's time for the spider to hunt down its prey. Currently slowed down by the trap, even if the player will have hit the web with a shovel, the spider will have still entered its hunt mode. Sadly, biting it to death with 2 hits, putting the corpse wrapped into some silk, letting no other players get the corpse of their friends to its family. Teleporting it will only give you a mummified version. The best course of action is to avoid any contact with the bunker spider, and the web that the creature installed to trap its prey, since this creature is tanky and can take up to 5 shovel hits.
Figure danger level 70%. Scientific name Bestiary savis. Elves or Thumpers are highly aggressive, carnivorous species of the order Chondrichthyes. Their skeletons are cartilaginous, giving their bodies a stretchy and rubber quality. Their names come from the fact that they must eat their bottom legs in order to escape the shell of their hatched egg. Their bottom legs are hardly functional to begin with. Their arms or front legs are very strong, and they occasionally use them to stump prey. They can reach great speed in a straight line. They are relentless hunters, typically at the top of their food chain. Their main weakness are their intelligence and complete lack of hearing. If you come across a Thumper, their best means of survival are leaving its line of sight, as it is slower around corners and can easily track prey. Due to the fast volatile evolution of the species, some theorize that elves are one of the examples of an increased number of mutations causing higher levels of speciation in planets around the Thistle Nebula.
When players hear a loud stomping noise, they are guaranteed to face a Thumper. Their best chance of survival is not to get seen by it. Although this land shark is deaf, it can spot players at an extremely good distance. When hearing a loud roar, players' lives are in game. Always turning each corner if able to restart the speed of the Thumper. Naturally speaking, these sharks build up their speed to get close to their launch. The speed decreases when targeting a new player, getting hit by a weapon, biting an entity, slamming into the wall, or getting stunned by an object. Going into a straight line is never the answer with the Thumper. Players will have 4 chances before getting eaten by this creature, but will need 4 hits to kill it. Getting mauled by the Thumper while one is killing it from behind could be a good strategy. Even more if you are that player that kills it.
Bracken. Sigurd's danger level 70%. Scientific name Rapoxfolium. There is a debate on the genus to which the bracken belongs. It is a bipedal vertebrate with skin the color and texture of a red beet. The name is coined for what appear to be leaves protruding from its upper spine. The purpose of these is believed to be for intimidation, however, not much is known about the specifics of bracken behavior due to its elusiveness and low population. We know a little from accounts by wildlife experts who have encountered it. It is a lone hunter with high intelligence. Its behavior can seem aloof. It exhibits high aggression even when unprovoked, yet quickly backs off when confronted. However, brackens are known to up their hostility when cornered or simply watched for a long time. It's theorized that upon death, their bodies undergo a rapid decomposition process, which is unique from other large animals.
Our good old Bracken, the most iconic monster of the bestiary, stalking its prey from far away in the darkness, waiting for the right time to strike to snap players' necks. For your own safety, please do not stare at these gloomy white eyes for more than 2 seconds. The proper way we found for any player to traverse with a Bracken in play is to take a small glance at the creature for it to retreat into darkness. Sadly, many of them didn't look behind their back, resulting in a cracked neck. But what happens after the Bracken kills its prey? It will drag the bodies into its favorite location, making it hard for any friends to retrieve the corpse while this leaf monster is roaming the area. If players are ever tired of this and want to exterminate the monster, we recommend doing this action as a group, since the chances of survival are low when fighting alone. But when done correctly, the Bracken will disappear, leaving behind small dusty particles.
Figure danger level 80%. Scientific name Vercaligerus. Vercaligerus, or colloquially named Coil-Heads, are recent discovery and have not been studied extensively due to their extreme unpredictability and dangerous properties. They have been known to combust into flames when being dissected, or even deactivated, and they carry dangerously high level of radioactive particles. Due to this and other reason, it has been highly speculated they were created as biological weapons of war, although this has not been proven. Coil-Head's visual appearance is that of a bloody mannequin with its head connected by a string. Their defining behavioral characteristic is to stop when being looked at. However, this does not appear to be a hard and fast rule. When they encounter loud noise or bright light, they appear to enter long reset mode. Just stare at them or use a stun grenade. Sigurd.
These mannequins make you think players are in a daycare, always needed to be looked at so that nothing bad happens. Also, like the Nutcracker, Coil-Heads will patrol the interior waiting to find their prey to lock on, moving slowly back and forth within two areas they selected inside. After they are locked into their target, chase mode will be activated. Players will need to keep an eye on the Springman so they don't get killed from behind. Since they are unable to get killed, we will give little tips to disable them for a short time so players can continue their day of work. The best practice is letting someone babysit these horrible creatures so they stay immobile for eternity. Or players can go the hard way to stun them with a stun grenade. If isolated from its friend, one worker can always close a door on this entity, making Coil-Head stuck for a good amount inside the room due to their slow speed of opening doors. When a player isn't fast enough to turn back, the only remains will be a corpse without a head, transforming it into a spring.
Figure danger level 70%. There's no fun on this one, so I'm making it myself. We keep finding these stinky freaks in the mansion. They won't talk to us, they don't even pay attention to us, and they look like deflated balloons. The smell is like rotten meat. It is so bad it puts Richard to shame. I hear flies buzzing around inside their bodies. Jess said she saw something crawl out of its eye socket and go back in. I don't know what to make of this man. They just walk around and sweep the floor. I guess that's why the mansion is so clean. At least, they do their job. But I swear, the stinky freaks stare at me when I'm not looking. Update. They chased Rick with a knife. We didn't see it, but he says when he got into the room, the butler just took out his broom and started sweeping like nothing happened. So we're all sticking together from now on. Screw these butlers. Now I have to stay closer to Rick, and he probably pissed in his suit.
Butlers have a unique way of attacking their prey, being really shy when players roam the interior in groups, cleaning with their broom to look innocent. Here's one poor player who lost his group on its expedition. It's the perfect time for the butler to strike, by waiting for its victim to get isolated. It will pull out a knife from its jacket, sprinting at them and stabbing them to death. We thought at first that this creature was going to be a nice interaction with, but we were incorrect. After his murder, the butler will clean the blood and run to the farthest location where no crime scene can be found. If other members catch the butler in his act, it will start its berserk mode, trying to genocide everyone who saw it. Hitting this cleaning guy is an option, but when killed, butlers explode and have a little last surprise for you.
Masked Hornets. Net. Masked Hornet.
Similar to circuit bees, these insects will fly out of the butler corpse to hunt anyone who pops their nest. Having no other information, we recommend killing the butler at the end of the day, since masked hornets are invincible and will roam the interior as long as the ship doesn't leave for the night. Yet mystery is still unsolved on how they got there in the first place.
No Bestiary file. Insert data. No Bestiary file. Insert data.
This is the only animated object in this bestiary. Masks have no log and can be known as mimics or zombies. They usually stay on the ground as a normal theater mask, until one comes for it. At first glance, players will think it's usual scrap, but in reality, every 5 seconds of holding this object gives the player 65% chance of the mask to latch itself into the face of their prey to start controlling them. When this occurs, anyone can trust themselves now. The body is now owned by the mask, and there's no turning back. After successfully capturing the player, Mask will start roaming by trying to bait others into being their friends. It can grab other members of the group and throw blood at them to contaminate them. We found this similar to a plague, and at this point, a zombie outbreak. We advise just staying on your guard and ready to attack your past friends by removing every emotional memories.
The Guardians of the House. They watch with one tireless eye, which only senses movement. It remembers the last creature it noticed, whether they are moving or not.
Hiding inside this huge Nutcracker soldier, this singular eye patrols the interior to shoot every entity that is trespassing. They will stop to make a circular scan of the area, revealing their weakness at the same time. When player gets spot, it will enter sentry mode, firing a lost bullet to the lock player. Don't get too cocky. Even if the player didn't get spot, Nutcracker can insta-kill them if being too close. They will get kicked to death and the Nutcracker will never notice. Killing them is no easy task, but the reward is worth it. 1 soul for a double barrel. Seems worth it to us, you just need to aim for the eye.
Barber. I had a dream about the barber. One day he made me a wig, because his scissors were too big.
If players need a quick cut, they are in luck. Barbers will be at their service. These clay surgeons are always roaming the interior in packs of 2, one being the master of the 2. It is really important to let players know that their attention is required when having to deal with these creatures. Following a beat when moving. All sound cues are here to help players make the right step. When players shift begin on the moon, Barber jump at an interval of 2.75 seconds, but speed up to 1.25 seconds throughout the day. Like our friendly Coil-Head, they roam between 2 different areas back and forth searching for its next client. Until players see the Barber for the first time when being too close to them, revealing their true identity. At this state, they will now lock themselves to the player who saw what's behind their invisible sheet. The best chance of not getting cut in half is to trap the Barber into a room due to the fact that they cannot open any doors. If done correctly, you will hear 6 lunge before giving up and restarting the roaming state to find another client.
Figure danger level 90%. Get out of there before it goes 8. You can't hide from it, just evacuate. I think it goes back in its box if everyone stay outside long enough. Scientific name, Insanus Thingus. There's no freaking scientific record. Good luck, you know as much as us. We just call it the Jester.
At first we didn't quite understand this jack-in-the-box creature, roaming the interior while waiting for an audience to show up. The second that the Jester found a player, it will start following it for a short period of time, to let him warm up. After 30 to 18 seconds, the box will start whining itself playing a melody called Pop Goes the Weasel, to let players know that the show has started. We would be happy to tell anyone that this is only for entertainment, but is more of a ticking bomb that will pop after the end of the song, which lasts for 42 seconds. If this song ends, and players are still in the interior, the Jester's top will open to reveal a giant skull covered in flesh. It will scream and kill anyone that stay inside. No need to hide, fight or run from this monster. The only result will be your demise. As soon as a player hears the melody, just go outside. We don't need another corpse on the floor.
Figure danger level 1000%. You were like a sun. Scientific name, Periplaneta clamorus. The Maneater has been linked to a genus of cockroach known as Periplaneta. It was first nicknamed by workers of the Caswella mine, one of many copper mines along the asteroid belt of Locust. In 1951, the Caswella mine had begun to languish since the end of wartime, and will soon close after operating for 12 years. Working condition has worsened long before the rumor of the Maneater had begun to spread, and as a result, it was not taken seriously by the higher-ups or media at the time. On June 23 of that year, however, an eviscerated corpse was rescued from the lowest level of Caswella mine. It was later identified as Brett Golden, a senior mining operator. Autopsy recorded the death an accident, resulting from faulty equipment. However, the story became a sensation and the Maneater rose up as a famous myth until 6 years later, when it will be first recorded in the Deep 57 cave expedition led by Simon Golden, to put to rest the mystery of his father's death. This was a revelation to scientific world, as it is now known as the largest troglodyte cave dweller species. A creature of this size confined to underground caves was thought impossible. Simon Golden, who had sought to disprove the myth, described his discovery as traumatic. Periplaneta clamorus is thought to live off of mainly plant debris and animal carcass, both of which can be carried into the cave by running water. It seems to have never developed the instinctive fear of larger predator while living underground. Thus, as a larva, it may be fascinated or indifferent to human presence. However, As a larvae, they can react fearfully to loud noise or to the sight of blood and injury. Some researchers have observed the larvae to show signs of loneliness. Being unhappy or afraid seems to exacerbate Periplaneta clamorous symptom of growth. Its metamorphosis is remarkably sudden and is a dangerous phenomenon to observe. The most telling sign that a larva is approaching metamorphosis is an excretion of an acidic, foamy liquid at its low jaw. This substance is believed to be a catalyst and exits its body in large quantities when metamorphosis begins. An adult can move incredibly fast and is capable of creating loud noise by clicking its mandible at a high frequency. In an encounter with Periplaneta clamorous, recommended procedure is to back away slowly and keep your distance, as it seems to wait for you to approach and avoid line of sight. Stopping and exhaling suddenly while arching its legs backward is a sign that an adult is entering chase. God help you.
If babysitting a Coil-Head wasn't enough, now meet the young fella, the Maneater. Usually found in mineshaft, these little insects are one of the most complex creatures in this bestiary, having 3 faces distinguished by their temper: quiet phase, crying phase, and adult phase. Maneater starts in their quiet phase, completely harmless like a baby, following any humans that they discover by keeping a small distance. We also found that they can eat items found on the ground. About a 20% chance of them to taste the one they observed. When the 20 is on their side, they will eat it and get chubbier. Players can now start their life of parenthood by grabbing this bug, but watch out. Since if the man-eaters get a little discomfort, they will start their crying phase. This can occur if they hear a loud sound, a player is attacked while having the baby in hand, seeing a player dead, rocking them too much, falling from a certain height, being taken outside, putting the flashlight on their face, and of course being hit by something. Totally normal at this point. We can see here that the parent wasn't ready and that the man-eater will start his adult phase, growing up in 3 seconds and ready like its name mentioned, eating mans, mimicking a lot how eyeless dogs attack by launching themselves into their prey. But this time, man-eaters aren't blind. We would avoid becoming parent due to the high risk of mortality these insects gives. Trying to kill an adult man-eater is a hard task and is not worth trying. If only they can remember how players treated them when they were young.
Ghost Girl. We received many reports telling us to stay on our guards when talking about the Ghost Girl. Sadly for us, every video evidence has no sign of the description players give us of this specific entity. Having no bestiary files or a real person who survived this calamity, it is hard for biologists to describe her behavior and a way to handle this encounter. Are they getting insane as players look behind them all the time or on a specific dot in the camera? It looks like this occurrence is rare and only targets one player at the time, making the one target sound crazy when trying to explain what is happening to it. We really want to help, and we want to say that if this situation really occurs, take a deep breath and start a long shower to relax. Maybe this is only in your head. Although there aren't any known survivors of Ghost Girl, I have seen her before. I spotted her twice, and both times she vanished before my eyes. She continued to lurk behind me with evil laughs and heavy breaths, but I kept my eyes forward, which I think is the reason I survived. I documented every movement and every behavior on my research page at youtube.com/alterego.
As we conclude our bestiary, a huge thank you to Alter Ego for sharing us his knowledge on the subject. Biologists are hard at work to search for any other mysteries that the Thistle Nebula can toss us, even theorizing the fact that the company may be part of all the entities we encounter during our journey. But some questions are better left unanswered. Thank you all so much for watching this video till the end. Recently I received a lot of love from you guys and I just want to say thank you again. I'm currently working on another bestiary video since you guys love it so much. If you guys want to join us on Discord so we can have a chat, so we can discuss any video ideas you guys want to see on the channel, feel free to join us on the link below. And you can always support the channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing with friends. It really means a lot to me, so thank you again, and I'll see you to the other one. Bye bye.